When a disaster strikes, residents of Miami-Dade County know how important it is to follow evacuation orders and get out of harm's way as quickly as possible. Ultimately, it is up to the individual to stay safe and find refuge from danger. That's why it is critical for residents to plan ahead of time in order to protect themselves if and when a disaster occurs.
When an evacuation order is given, it is very important that residents heed these warnings. First of all, many folks have a false sense of security and think that I'll stay home, fire rescue will come save me if I need during a storm. Fire rescue will always be willing and ready to serve and protect the citizens after and before a storm. However, in case of a storm and an evacuation order, please heed the warnings. Have a kit, have a plan, and evacuate in a timely manner to keep your family safe.
Residents in Miami-Dade County that need assistance with evacuation should take this planning even more seriously. These are residents that may require extra help to evacuate due to medical conditions, specialized transportation need, or other evacuation assistance requirement. Some of these residents may even need transportation to an emergency evacuation care center appropriate for their level of care need.
Most of our patients are elderly. They're definitely homebound, so they have a lot of medical concerns. They have concerns about them being bedbound sometimes. They can't get out of bed. They don't have caregivers where they can go to. They have medication that they have to take. Some of them are on IVs. Anything that can be done in a hospital, we actually do at home. So a lot of these patients are very sick and they're concerned what's going to happen if they're left alone without any care. So they want to know that they can evacuate someplace safe for them.
The Emergency Evacuation Assistance Program, or EEAP, provides evacuation assistance to those residents who live in an evacuation zone and that may require specialized transportation, whose medical needs prevent them from evacuating on their own or otherwise require evacuation assistance.
The program is geared towards individuals with medical needs that prevent them from evacuating on their own or require special transportation or have no transportation.
Residents in nursing homes or assisted living facilities are not eligible for this program, as administrators of these facilities are required by law to develop an emergency plan and make arrangements for their residents to evacuate to a similar facility. The key to guaranteeing help will be there when needed is to register early. Registering requires filling out an application that can be obtained by mail or downloaded from the county's website.
Thank you for calling Miami-Dade 311. My name is Jennifer. How may I help you today?
The 311 Answer Center is Miami-Dade County's main information line. 311 provides an easy-to-remember number that people can dial to either learn about county services or even request county services. Residents can call 311 year-round to learn about programs offered by Miami-Dade Emergency Management and learn about different disaster preparedness tips. When a disaster is coming, 311 provides one place to learn about how the county is responding, what evacuation procedures may be in place, and where shelters are open.
To receive an application by mail, potential applicants can call the county at 311 or Miami-Dade Emergency Management at 305-468-5400. If you are a family member outside of the county that wants to register an applicant living in Miami-Dade, call toll-free at 1-888-311-DADE. The application is available in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. To request this material in alternate formats such as Braille, large print, or electronically, please call 311 or toll-free at 1-888-311-DADE. To find the application online, please visit the website on your screen. Once the application has been obtained, residents that qualify will need to fill out the required personal information, answer questions about medical conditions, and what type of assistance is required. Applicants that need special medical care during an evacuation will also need to get their doctor's signature. Applicants must then sign the form and mail it back to the Miami-Dade Emergency Management.
Miami-Dade Emergency Management has made it very easy for this process, and it's a very simple process, submitting a form to them, and they just go from there.
Well, once we receive the application, we're going to assess the individual's needs. From there, we're going to assign whatever special transportation is required based on an individual's case, and then we'll assign them the appropriate facility in which they're going to be transported to.
The information in the registry is updated twice a year and is the registrant's responsibility to update the information in case of any changes. Registrants should then start planning what they will need at an emergency evacuation center if an evacuation order is given.
Some of the things that everyone should really keep in mind when you're packing your emergency go kit that you would take to the shelter: medication, batteries. Keep batteries in your bag so that you can power up your flashlights. It is not unheard of for a shelter in a hurricane zone to lose electricity. So you want to have batteries. If possible, get yourself an emergency cell phone charger. That way we can all keep in touch and you're not worried about losing power on your cell phone. If you have a first aid kit, bring that. And also baby wipes and antibacterial wipes are very handy. One thing to keep in mind about the shelters is oftentimes they are set up very quickly, so we do try to have all of the necessary items on hand, such as blankets, pillows, enough food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks and all that. But really, one thing that we cannot really plan for is how many people are going to show up or what the environment is going to be like outside of the shelter during a storm. So people really should try to bring their own snacks, such as granola bars, things that don't need to be refrigerated. If you can, bring your own water bottles. And again, really just expect, when you go to a shelter, just expect shelter. Worst case, you might not have a lot of food. Worst case, there might not be any blankets left. So just bring whatever you would need to be comfortable for 2 or 3 days.
It is the registrant's responsibility to bring the supplies they need to the shelter. This should include 72-hour supplies of all medications, medical supplies, and dietary supplements. If a disaster occurs, emergency management staff will contact registrants that an evacuation order has been issued and instruct them when transportation will arrive.
In the event of an emergency, somebody from Miami-Dade Emergency Management will be contacting an individual on the registry. From there, we'll let them know that we're recommending an evacuation. If they are willing to be evacuated, we'll then identify the appropriate transportation and shelter assignment for them. If somebody's accepted transportation assistance, the next phone call they'll get is from one of our transportation providers, giving them a window of when they need to be ready. When the transportation provider arrives at their home, they're going to have some things ready. Certainly, we encourage everybody to have a kit assembled in advance.
Being prepared when transportation arrives is critical. If a registrant misses the bus or ambulance, there may not be time for a second attempt to evacuate them. This is also why it is important to register before any emergency arises.
Well, we register our patients at all times. We're not concerned whether it's hurricane season, because there could be any other kind of disaster.
If residents wait until the last minute to call, Miami-Dade Emergency Management will make every effort to assist them, but those in the registry will take priority. There is no guarantee last-minute applicants will be evacuated.
Last-minute callers, it's a tough thing. I mean, we do our best to take their information, get them on the registry, but those people who are already on the registry are going to get priority. If we're talking a hurricane and we're talking the arrival of tropical storm force winds, that's when we need to start really wrapping things up. And so if we get a lot of last-minute callers, we may not be able to reach everybody.
Fire rescue services will always be ready and willing to serve and to save and rescue people after a storm. However, if an evacuation order is given, those services might not always be there.
There may have come a time with an emergency that it's no longer safe for those providing evacuation assistance to be out in the streets. And at that point, when folks call 311, we're going to give them the best information on what they should do to shelter in place. So that's why we encourage them to register early, get on the list, so they can be given priority when an emergency is impending.
Residents that have signed up for the program have the peace of mind knowing that even if an unforeseen disaster occurs, they will get the help they need to evacuate and a safe place to stay until the danger has passed.
And it's a good feeling, a safe feeling to know that if you have to go and be evacuated again, you know you have the safety of somebody being with you, other people being with you. You won't feel alone or frightened or anything like that. If you have to go through it, my goodness, don't give up the opportunity.
For more information on the Emergency Evacuation Assistance Program, please contact 311 or visit the Miami-Dade Emergency Management website at the address on your screen.